I think it's more about the process of them just through their high school career of sort of maturing as an artist or maturing as a person, and really looking at what is their visual intent. Why do they create art? Is it to make beauty? Is it to show justice? Is it to have them work through difficult situations that they personally have gone through or they've had friends personally go through? So is it something more personal? Is it something, you know, they start to look at that intention of why the artist makes art.
I'm Becca Wakefield, and I'm an AP Art. In AP Art, you can choose more of your style and how you do things, and you can choose what projects you do a lot more, because like in the first level classes, you're given an assignment and you're given the certain parameters of what you need to do. But in AP Art, you have so much more freedom, which I think is really important for creativity, because if you have too many limits, then you don't really get to express who you are. I was kind of sketching out the different petals and how all the flowers were going to be laid out, because these pieces of mat board are actually different colors, but I didn't really like the colors, I just liked the different shapes that I had out of them. And so I wanted to sketch them out with white, and then I'd paint over them so the colors would be more vibrant when the paint dried. It seems really simple, but it took so much more depth and so much more time to get all of the tiny little details of the piece and how they all came together. These are really good summer flowers, and when they die, it signifies the end of the summer and the beginning of school up there. So during the entire summer, as long as you see fireweed, it's still summer. And as soon as they start to turn a deep, deep red, that's when everybody starts to know, here comes school again.
I was just kind of going for, you know, landscape, kind of Tuscany style. That's the connection I made with it. They're actually both completely different if you think about it. I mean, the sky's different. I mean, maybe the ratio of like man-made things to nature's is about the same, but I don't know. Actually, freshman year, I was doing this painting, and I was just looking for anything to paint. I just looked through National Geographic, and I found this one that was out of Tuscany, and I just loved the scenery. It looked really cool, really caught my imagination. And I did a painting of that, and it got to go into an art show. And ever since then, I've been kind of wanting to do another series of that, and I haven't had much time to. But yeah, I can in AP Studio. Although these are kind of Colorado clouds, because I can't really picture the clouds anywhere else. I mean, every time, like, this is actually the view from my backyard. Like, I see this exact thing, minus the hill. And the sun goes down right there, and then the clouds are always like this. But I couldn't draw from any other experience, so I just did Colorado. And I think it's all about personal expression, and through that you kind of find people that you're like. And, you know, it really just shows you how to do stuff. It's cool.
Like, some people just, they start throwing stuff together and they've got it. I don't know, it's all about you. It depends. It's called Beautifully Broken, and it's about how we're all beautiful in our brokenness and kind of about the stuff I've been through. And once the piece is done, it's going to have gold glass falling out of it at the top, so kind of how the inside is even more beautiful than the outside. I don't think you can say anything's good art or bad art. Like, sometimes I see things I'm like, ooh, I don't like that, but I mean, somebody could be saying the same thing about my art, so who am I to judge? It's all open for your own interpretation. What this piece might mean to me, it could mean something completely different to another person. That's the cool thing about art. It can evoke any emotion in someone. It's kind of, I don't want it to like be sitting on a table or something, because that kind of takes away from it, I think. So it's definitely an interactive sculpture. You can walk around it and you can touch it. You can just see it from all angles. And so it just gives you more of an idea than if it were in a display case or something. It's not really there.
You know, I believe that every piece of paper has a purpose and it has an image behind it. And I just see what's there and I just sketch it out, and I actually start drawing the final piece. And I just work with every single move that I have. I don't believe in mistakes because everything happens for a reason. So I just work with it and it becomes something like this. So. This piece is part of a series that I have going on about the Palestinian and Israeli conflict that is going on currently. It's basically showing a resident from Palestine who basically lost everything because of it, and he has his hands over his face out of anger and grievance, and the shackles on his hands are basically the shackles of which the Israeli people are putting on Palestine, basically moving them as slaves to different places like Jerusalem, places that they've never been to. And so I'm not really sure where the idea comes from. I guess it's just my outlook on the world that plays a big part in it, and I just think of all these things that I could do, and then I end up, I don't know, putting it on a canvas or a piece of paper, and I just tie it into an idea that I have. It kind of sparks up on the paper.
We had to do a series project, and I wanted to do something different that other people weren't doing, so I picked monsters, and I was trying to be creative with them, but they're kind of weird and crude and messed up, but I like them. There's really no meaning to them unless you want to take one to it, but it's just something I've never done before, so I figured I'd try it and go for it. Over the summer, I did some sketches of them in my sketchbook, and the meanings were different then, but this time I just kind of took what I did and put them into different pieces. I wanted to do black and white for just a feeling thing, because the first one I did, I was mad because I was on a plane to LA and you can see the pollution really well. And I was like, that's gross, you know? So I drew this weird monster, and then I was like, I like them all and I should keep them all black and white just to show emotion and stuff. The cultures, it kind of just depends on what mood I am in, because I really paint what I feel a lot. And if I feel fun, I'll paint colors, and if I'm mad, I'll paint monsters or something. And I've never really seen like anybody's culture like any of my style of art. To me, I feel like if you can understand something or an emotion enough to put it on paper in like words or a painting or something, then you can overcome it. So I try to do that.
In the end, I hope that students are able to not just look at their own work and see themselves as an artist, because they really are an artist. They really are creating and working on their own. And I know a lot of a handful of them are ready to just go right into marketing or graphic design, or starting to develop their portfolio to get work and to get jobs. So in the end, my greatest hope is that they see themselves in more of a positive light, to see themselves as an artist, and to really understand how to advocate for themselves, and whether they decide to go into art or not into art. That would be my greatest hope. I think that the biggest thing that I hope that they learn is that creativity is something that you can grow and develop. It's not something that you're just born with. As Picasso once said, you grow as an artist, you grow as a person, and a lot of times we'll do warm-ups kind of thinking outside of the box. And that's what I hope that they take away from this class is, one, the importance of just arts in society, and two, that being able to think outside of the box is a skill that no matter what avenue you decide to go into is important.